Hello, welcome to the weekly Zera Shimshon Shir, and this is Parshas Akiv, and it's Yotes Av Tafshin Pei. And I'm going to do something a little bit different this week because there really wasn't a short piece to do in Akiv. All of them are very long, and I think this is very fundamental to all of Yiddishkeit, and I want to explain it in two sections. So please forgive me. You'll have to watch both of them to get the whole piece. This is, I'm doing Hey, in the Zera Shimshon and Parshas Akiv. So I'm going to start. It says, Perek Beis in Shabbos. Second Perek in Shabbos, Daf Lamed Aleph, Amud Aleph. It says, Machri Rabbi Yanai. Rabbi Yanai was crying out, and he said, for woe is to the one that doesn't have a house, but he has a doorway, a pathway to his dwelling he made. What does that mean? You have to figure out what that means and make sense out of it. So that time, he says, what's the chaval and the leisle besa? So what's the house? And then we're going to concentrate on those two words, the house and the gateway, okay? So Tam Shehayira Shamayim Nikra Bayis. The reason why the house is called the Yiras Hashem is called the house, and the Torah is called the gateway, is because the Fisha, I would say just the opposite, right? Logically, the Fisha Torah calls man she'adam hoigeba moitzeba tamim chadashim, because the more you learn Torah, you can go over it 1,000 times, and you're always going to come up with new ideas. So ein kates Talmudai, there's no end to his learning. Ki tamid yesh lekanes bo yeser lifnim, because each time you learn it, you go deeper. You peel another layer away and go deeper. Vin kain hayokimai shar. It's like a gateway. Shenichnasim bo lifnim. That takes you one gateway and then another one and another one. Omnam hayira shamayim ki misha zacha kvar zacha ba. But your shamayim, once you're zeicha in it, you're zeicha in it. It's a kinyan. That's why it's considered like a house. A house is considered a stable dwelling. So that's why you need the Yiras Shamayim first to be the house. Everything is in hands of heaven except for fear of heaven. Person is obligated to sanctify himself and be kaiveya, to permanently put himself in this kind of a yira, shir shamayim. Al korcha loimer the diras kva bayinin. We've got to say, like by the Mordsukkah says, you need a diras kva. Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Mishum hachi nikrais bayis. That's why it's called a house. So therefore, it's impossible that could be in the hands of heaven. The Kaimalan, we Gemara have Baba grab a comma, Daf Samach Tesamad Beis. V'ish ki yagdish as Beisai Kaidish. Ma Beisai Birshusai, Av Kol Birshusai. So just like a person, if he wants to make something sanctified to the Beis HaMikdash, he can sanctify it, but it has to belong to him. You can't sanctify somebody else's stuff. That the main part of Yira, the fear of heaven, is that he finds it from his own will. Takes it out from his own will and makdis legvoya and sanctifies it to heaven. It's like making a neder, a vow, and sanctifying something to the Beis HaMikdash. Well, therefore it has to be in his possession. He can't be makdish something that doesn't belong to him. He's got to possess the Yiras Shamayim himself. And understood another parak, another parsh, a daf in the Gemara. It says daf lamed gimel omad beis. It says ato, and now Yisrael ma Hashem alekecha shoyel mimach. What does God want from you? What is He asking from you? Ato is Yira, and in Atu Yira Milsed Zutrasihi. So the Gemara says there is Yiras Shamayim, a very insignificant thing. It's a small thing, right? The whole treasure house of God has is Yiras Shamayim. So Gemara says yes. Lagabi Moshe Mil says Utrasi. So with reference to Moshe Rabbeinu, it's a small thing. It's insignificant because he was on such a high madrega. So it's like the mashal has to be understood. He's going to explain it. The mashal is for a person who's looking for a big vessel, and he finds a similar one but in a smaller vessel. Or he's looking for a small vessel and he doesn't find anything like it, only in a big vessel. Makshim, and the Gemara, the Meforshim asked the question, Ki mipnei lagabi Moshe hava milsa zutrasi. Just because by Moshe it was a small, insignificant feature, it was having Yiras Shamayim. So after Yisrael haya mina ro yishayia kain, what that regular Jew should also have that same type of a feeling. So what is God asking from you? It means not from Moshe Rabbeinu, from you. But by a regular Jew, it's a very big thing. So what do I need the mashal for? Even if the mashal, if this anecdote is difficult, here, HaKadosh Baruch is asking the Jewish people, and they don't have it. It looks like if they don't have Yiras Shamayim, it looks like too big of a vessel for them to get. That fear is it's something that you absolutely have to have. So if you can't accept it by your own free will, then there's going to be forced upon you some way. Even though in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's very important to have Yiras Shamayim. But in reference to Moshe, that he knew that it was by force they had to be in fear and have fear of God. Moshe Omer Chazal and Gemara in Brachas again, Daf Nun Tes Amud Aleph, and the pasuk in Koheles Gimel Yadalid, V'Elokim Asa Sheyiru Milafanav. So God made things so that should have fear in front of him. What is that things? For example, Lo Nivru Ramim Elo Kedei Livshoit Akmumi Yeshu Belev. The thunder and the lightning was created so that people should get the verkrumptness, the crookedness out of their hearts. And that gives them fear. Okay? So there's a lot of things that happen to a person that put the fear of God in him. So that's not considered to him a very serious thing, and it's a mitzvah gedolah for it. And don't say this is only in reference to Moshe. That even with Moshe, that he wasn't forced to do it, he was careful about it all the time. He was careful in all the mitzvahs. That's why it says it's a mashal to a person has a big kli and a little kli, okay? This is natural for a person that he should have this kind of fear. Similarly with Yiro, the fear of Hashem, that it's a very beautiful, good vessel and very dear in the eyes of Hashem. The Kol Mokoim still that even the Jewish people are forced to accept it upon themselves. Anything that's being forced upon a person, so it's as if it has already happened. Right? You're forced to do something, it says already, the Gemara in Ksubah says, and Daf Nun Amud Aleph, anything that's standing to be picked from a tree, if the fruits are ripe, it's as if it's picked already. Kol Aroi Labila Ein Bila Makivas. And then another Gemara in Yavamis that it's referring to the largest amount of soilus that you can bring in a big, to bring as a korban mincha. You can have 60 mas, 60 sa. But then more than that, one more than that, you can't do it because you can't mix the oil properly. So there's a rule of Rabbi Zera says anything that's fitting to be mixed, even though it isn't mixed, it's as if it's mixed. Anyway, they should admit that, agree to the fact that in their eyes, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu is asking, even if it's a little thing, it's a big thing. So, which is not true if he would ask for them what wisdoms, all kinds of wisdom. Shehem kli katan lagabi hayira, which is a small vessel compared to the yira. Lefi shehem kimoy beis shar, because those wisdoms are like a gateway to the house. Kedaminen chaval the leisle beisa, that like Rabbi Yanai said, woe to the one who doesn't have a house, but he's trying to get the shar, the gateways to the house. Oman loy tevayno biyad ha'adam bal korchay. However, it won't come to a person. These chachmas won't come to a person by force. You can't get wisdom unless you already acquired it somehow. So therefore, it sounds like for him, it's like getting something much bigger than he can possibly get. Shneimar says, Ramos la'avil chachmais. Ramos la'avil, to this, the person that's an avil is a repeated offender. So for him, Ramos, the deception for him is wisdoms. So because he's going to use it improperly. But derech zeh yuvan pasuk in Mishlei and Tesam and pasuk Yud, it says Techilas Chachma Yiras Hashem. The beginning of wisdom, we say the wisdom Chachma, is Yiras Hashem, and Vadas Kedoshim Bina. That's the whole pasuk there. And then it's in the next pasuk because he's going to talk about it later. Ki vi yerbu yomecha v'yosifu lecho shnois chayim. Okay. Vikasha, he says, how is it possible that the beginning of wisdom is be yira? Because if you don't first have some wisdom, you're not going to get to the point of yira. You have to understand something in Torah before you can, and God, about God, before you can have yira. It says in pasuk in Kapitel Navois Beis Perek Beis Mishnah Hey, Ein bur yirei chet, a person that's an idiot, has never learned anything. He can't be a yirei chet. He can't be frightened of sin because he doesn't know what it is. The Hachinami Perek Gimel Saita, and the third parak of Saita, the Chaf Aleph Amud Aleph, Amin in my Parshas Drachim. What does it mean, Parshas Drachim? Parshas Drachim means the split in the roads. So it says, what is it going to do with the Talmud Chacham b'Yiras Hachet? The Parshas Drachim is a person that's a Talmud Chacham and he has Yiras Hashemayim, Yiras Chet, fear of sin. Pirush Rashi, Zacha liYiras Chet, Acher sheZacha leTorah Nitzel Mikulam. So after he's privileged to have Yiras Chet, then he's privileged to Torah. I read it backwards. Rashi says, Zacha liYiras Chet, Acher sheZacha leTorah. So he's only privileged to get Yiras Chet after he gets the Torah. Then he's Nitzel Mikulam, he's protected from all types of bad things. Even though in Perek Gimel Mishnah Tes says, Tanan, Kol Yiras Chetoi Kodemis LaChachma. So anybody that his sphere of sin precedes his wisdom, Chachmasei Miskayemis, then his wisdom will continue to exist. The Kol Shechachmasei Kodemis LiYirasa, anything that he is trying to be a wise person before he gets Yiras Shamayim, it's the Ein Chachmasei Miskayemis. So Niraj Mikan Shetzorich Shetakni Mayira LeChachma. You see from Pirkei Avos that you have to have Yira first. כבר פירש שם הרב, שרוצה לומר שמקדים במחשבתו yiras chet lechachmasai. The Rabbeinu Avadia ben Bartanura says, he explains that first he has to precede his thoughts of Yira before he starts learning Torah. Then his Chachmasai will be miskayemis, will be existing, be permanent. Shehu choyshev beliboy elmoid bishvil she'eya yorei. He wants to learn in order that she should be aware of what sins he could commit if he transgresses. Ve'omar lama omar kasav tchilas chachma yiras Hashem. So then what does the pasuk of Mishlei say? That the beginning of wisdom is yiras Hashem. V'chein in Tehillim it says reishis chachma yiras Hashem. And I'm going to stop here for today, and we're going to have the skula next week also. In a couple of days, because I'm going to keep doing this.